Still there. Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Well, this is sort of a strange position I'm in here. I'm not really sure how to start and, begin the video. But suffice it to say, something very spooky, I believe, is happening. Now, I'm not sure. I'm not 100%, obviously. But as you read in the title, and, from everything I've seen and the way it's kind of felt with me and my wife and my child over the past 3 or 4 days, leads me to believe that I am being watched, followed, intimidated, played a prank on. I have no idea. But I'll go ahead and just start off here by showing you this short clip of the same vehicle with the same person in it who I have noticed for the past 3 days in a row, sitting in the parking lot outside my home, directly next to my home, watching me and my house. So 3 days ago, I came outside. Usually I'm up late. You guys know that. I work late, so I'm up late. And it was probably around 11 p.m., so it wasn't too late. And I noticed this car sitting in this empty parking lot next to my house. And so I didn't think anything of it. People park places all the time. Maybe someone pulled over, is figuring out directions or something like that. So I didn't pay any attention, but I did notice it. And I noticed that it wasn't a car that I had seen around the neighborhood because I live in a very small rural neighborhood. I know who everyone is. I notice the cars that drive by all the time. This wasn't anyone that I had seen. So next night comes, and this time it was about 2 in the morning that I noticed the same car. I had gone outside to smoke. Well, I'm trying to quit, but not very successful yet. So I went outside for a smoke while I was actually editing a video, and here is the same car, the only car in the parking lot, sitting out next to my house. The same man in it, doing the same thing, which is basically, I would catch him looking at me, looking at my house, and then when I would come outside, he would put his head down and pretend almost like he was looking at his phone. And so in the video footage, you can see his face being reflected by something that I'm going to assume is a tablet or a phone screen. And so that was strange to me. I said, okay, 2 nights in a row, what's going on? This is kind of strange. Still didn't read too much into it, but I noticed that this car sat there for about an hour or more on the second day. So third day comes, which is today, and I'm hanging out with my wife, my child. It's about 11 o'clock. Roads outside my house are empty. No traffic, no cars. My wife comes in to get me and tells me that this same car is parked out there yet again. And mind you, this car isn't parking at the other end of the parking lot. Every time we have seen it, it is parked extremely close to my house and has a perfect view of my front porch, the side of my house where I have windows, and it was there again tonight, sitting there with the same guy in it, glancing over, watching, and then intermittently pretending to be on his phone. Now, I don't know if he's talking to someone. I have no idea. So this time I said, okay, something is going on. I'm getting this guy on video. I'm recording it. So my wife and I were outside on the porch, and I said, okay, I need to figure out a way I can record this guy without him thinking that I'm recording him. So I told my wife to stand in his view, and I said, I'm going to pretend to take your picture. That way I could film past her and get a nice steady shot of this guy's car, and that's what you're seeing. Okay, so sorry to my wife for getting her in the shot, but that's the only way I could think to get this guy on video. And you'll notice that as I zoom in on him, pretending to take a picture of my wife, you can see the guy's head actually turn towards me, and he notices that I've got my camera out. I mean, it was obvious, but I was trying to make it look inconspicuous. So he looks at me, he looks at what I'm doing, and then he does something with his hand, closes something, I have no idea, and then looks back away, like he's just doing nothing at 11 o'clock at night. So my wife and I went inside. I said, I'm going to keep an eye on this guy, and it really was spooking us out, and I am spooked out, I'm not going to lie. Now, we went inside and I said, okay, I'm going to take a few more videos through my blinds that are here at the window at the side of my house where I could get a perfect shot. So I kind of snuck my phone right in between two blinds, these vertical blinds that I have, and I took some more videos. And this guy sat there for nearly an hour and a half, almost 2 hours actually, now that I'm thinking of it. Because I would go back to work and my wife would go outside and peek and he'd still be there, and she'd say, Tyler, he's still there. And that's when I would peek out, maybe try to take another video. And so at one point, after he had been there for almost 2 hours, I told my wife, I said, okay, I'm going to take out my motorcycle and I'm going to get on it and act like I'm leaving to go down to the gas station or something. Because I wanted to ride by the guy and get a good look at his face. So my wife recorded that, which you're seeing here. So I got on my motorcycle, started it, turned on my light, my headlamp on my motorcycle, with it perfectly facing his car, because I figured if I could get my light on him, maybe I could get a better view of his face, but the light was a little bit low on his car. And so as I drove past him, I took a look at the guy, and to be honest, the guy looks like what's the word? Like a guy in a cubicle. Dare I say it, like an FBI agent or something like that. He had like a white button-up shirt, like the kind you would see at a work office where you wear the tie with it. He had clear reading glasses on, or prescription glasses, short haircut. It looked like some nerdy FBI guy. And I'm not saying that's what he was, but that's just how I'm describing it. And as I pulled out in this video and I rode past him, it was almost like he made it a point not to look up at me as I drove by looking at him. But as I'm sitting there on my porch with my wife, he has no problem looking up. But he did not look up once as I rode by him, trying to get a good look. So I went down the block for a minute, told my wife to go inside and lock the door. When I got back, and when I went inside, my wife told me the spookiest thing about this whole story. So I pulled in, and my wife had actually called me while I was gone, because I have a little microphone in my helmet for my motorcycle, which is so I can take calls while I'm riding, but I couldn't really hear her, so I said, I'll be home in a minute. So I got home, and she told me that literally maybe a minute after I pulled away on my motorcycle, she said she was inside when she noticed out the front window someone sprinting by the house. Not walking, not jogging, someone sprinting down our sidewalk, past our house, towards the parking lot where this car was. So my wife went over to our side window, which has the perfect view of the parking lot, and peeked out of it, saw this guy sprinting to this SUV, jumped in the passenger seat. The car peels out of the parking lot and shoots down the street, heading in the same direction that I did on my bike. And my wife was completely spooked, and so was I. And I told her, I said, we sat there and tried to rack our brains as to what she had just seen, what was going on, why this guy was sitting there, obviously still trying to figure that out. But why was it right after I left that not only did the guy whip out and pull away, but only after some other guy who was on the opposite side of my house sprinting down the sidewalk like he was in a marathon, jumping into this SUV that had been sitting there, and it then whipping out and flying out of the neighborhood. And I asked her, I said, did it just pull out slow and normal? She said it whipped out and flew down the street. Now, I didn't see the car as I was coming back from the gas station, so I don't know where it went. She just said it was heading in the same direction that I went. And yeah, that's it. I got home. She told me what happened. I've kind of been sitting here looking out the window. Anytime I go out on the porch to smoke, I'm always looking around. But yeah, we're trying to figure out. And my wife, she doesn't know. We sat there. We've been sitting here trying to figure out who was this guy running? That my first thought was, and I'm being completely serious. Were these spooks? Were these a couple of spooks? Was this guy who was running, was he over, in the tree somewhere taking photographs of me? And then as soon as I left, he runs and jumps in the car. I don't know, I'm just a YouTuber. I'm not saying that I'm some popular guy or that I'm even worthy to have someone watch me or surveil me. But it has happened, and it's happened to people who are way less popular than I am and for way less than I've ever done. So it does creep me out. And despite what you think, or despite what some of the haters out there might think, I have, over the years, featured a ton of explosive videos, information, talked about some very incriminating stuff, and how many people have we seen disappear over stuff like this? How many stories have we spoken about where people have been visited by these government spooks or the men in black telling them to keep their mouth shut or harassing them or watching them, and in some cases disappearing and being found deceased? You know, it automatically makes me think of Max Spears. You know, up until he passed away, nobody really knew who Max Spears was. He was another ufologist like me, and stuff like that spooks me out. And I would love for this just to be some sort of weird coincidence and I'm overreacting, but for 3 nights in a row, the same car, the same guy, watching me, watching us while we're standing outside looking at him. And for my wife to see another man sprinting past the house, jumping in this car, not moments after I pull away. It's, I gotta say, guys, I'm freaked out. So I thought I'll do what I do best. I'll post a video on it. I'll post the footage that I got of the car. I'm not exactly sure what kind of car it was. I definitely am pretty sure it's a Chevy. Maybe you guys can help me out with that and tell me what you think. But one thing I do know is that in my home, we are locked and loaded. I have always taken full advantage of the Second Amendment. It's moments like this that I'm happy that I do have everything I have here, we'll just say. So let me know what you guys think. Tell me I'm overreacting, you know. And here we go. We're going to be on night 4 tomorrow. So I guess I'll just continue making videos like normal, but at least I could say I got this video out here, and I promise I'm not going anywhere. I don't plan to do anything to myself. I'm perfectly happy, healthy, and I just hope it stays that way. So with that, thank you for stopping by today. Yeah, thanks for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you back in just a bit.